Hello everyone, this is Sangeeta. Welcome back to my channel Green Fingers. Today I am going to speak about Spanish moss. Spanish moss is from the Tillandsia genus of Bromeliads. This is a plant that is normally grown in tropical areas of Bahamas, West Indies, Central American countries, etc. But this is widely cultivated in India now as an ornamental plant. Though the name suggests that it is a Spanish moss, the name is a Spanish moss, but this is not a moss. This plant grows on huge tree barks. It hangs from huge tree barks under cypress or oak trees. This actually lives on huge trees, but it doesn't have any parasitic qualities. It doesn't have roots basically, so it doesn't harm the host tree. It doesn't take any nutrients from the host tree, and thus it doesn't harm the host because it doesn't have roots. What it has is the small scale like structures that you can see. It's all entangled and it becomes, it forms a huge structure because each plant is connected to the next one because it all gets entangled. I hope you can see that clearly. It is curved structure and it clinches to its host tree. Taking care of this plant is very easy. You can grow this as an indoor plant, or you can keep it under a canopy, under a normal tree, or in your garden, in the balcony you can hang it. I have hung it on a natural fiber, a small rope, but you can hang it on a tree bark which will be idle, or you can hang it on a piece of coir or anything like that. This will hold on to it and it will start growing. It grows actually down. It starts, when I started it was a small piece of Spanish moss. I just got a very small piece of Spanish moss, but it grew to this length, I think in 2 years time. It's a very easy plant to take care of. Fertilizing is not a must. You can fertilize it once in a way, like once in a month or so. Just spray whatever fertilizer you use for the orchid. The same kind of fertilizer will work for this, and just fertilize it once in a month or so, or once in 2 months also will be sufficient. But watering is very important. You have to mist it, as I have shown in the other video regarding ferns also. Misting is very important, and you can see when I mist it, the leaves turn greener. Can you see the difference? It was grey and ash here. Now when I water it, it turns green. See, all the leaves turns green. This is how you water it, and you have to water it at least once in a day. And that is all the care that it requires. When you mist it fully like this. Water should drip from the plant. That is how you water it. See, now the whole plant has turned green. And when the plant the water is not sufficient, then you can see these small structures that it will turn, it will dry actually. See, you can see 1 or 2 here that is dried. This is because of less watering. Water was not adequate. If the water is not adequate, you can see this. Otherwise, if you water it correctly, the leaves, this whole plant will look green like this. And you can leave this to a day and next water it the next day. Again, when you water it, you make sure that the whole plant turns like this to a light green color. Spanish moss is an epiphytic flowering plant. This flowers, even though my plant is not flowered, I don't think it flowers when you cultivate it, but in the wild it flowers beautifully. The flowers are not very big, it's small tiny green flowers, it will come on the edges, and it is fragrant as well. So when there is a huge area covered with Spanish moss, you can find flowers in that. It is a flowering plant. But propagation in the wild, this gets propagated through wind. Like if there is a heavy wind blowing, a small piece of this, like you can see, a small piece can break from this and it can go, the wind can carry it and take it to another tree that is close by. That is how this gets propagated in the wild. Or the other way is birds take these plants for building their nest or whatever, and they drop it on the other tree. That is how it gets propagated on the next tree. But when we are cultivating it, the same thing we can do. We can just take a small piece from this, like this much of the plant will do. Take this small portion of the plant and just hang it on another tree bark or any hook, but make sure you are not using a metal hook. This plant will not thrive on a metal surface. So, make sure you are not hanging it on a metal hook. Use a tree bark or any natural fiber or any hook. A plastic hook also will work. Just make sure that you are not using a metal hook for this. What else is there to say about this plant? It requires humidity. Humidity is a must factor, but direct sunlight to an extent is okay for this plant. But not a hot sun. Hot sun directly falls on the plant, might spoil the plant. Not direct hot sun, but sunlight is okay for this plant compared to the other plants, like other indoor plants like ferns and all. Little bit of sunlight is okay. So, you can hang this in your balcony. This will be an ideal plant for the balcony, but make sure you are watering it regularly. That is the most important thing when you take care of a Spanish moss. The one most important thing that you should remember while you grow this plant at home is that it needs warm weather. The surrounding should be warm. If you are living in a place where you face strong winter, cold weather, then make sure that you move the plant to your indoors, to inside the house, so that this plant is not exposed to harsh weather. It loves warm weather, so make sure the plant is indoors and hung next to a window where sunlight falls and increases the temperature inside the room. That is the ideal condition for growing a Spanish moss. This is also called as a grandpa's beard. Maybe because of the look of it, it looks like a grandpa's beard. You know, when this water dries, you know, it gives an ash, a grey color to the plant, and maybe that is the reason why this is called as a grandpa's beard as well. In Central American countries, this Spanish moss grows so much that they use it like how we use our hay for packing delicate products. They use this as a packing material, like hay or something like a thermocol or something. They use Spanish moss as a packing material also. So, you can imagine how much of this grows in America, in Central America, Bahamas and all. It grows widely in huge trees. This is a very slow growing plant. This plant has taken almost like 2 years to grow to this size. It was very small when I started it. It was just this much, it was a small bit, and from that it has grown to this size in 2 years. So, it takes around solid 4 to 5 years for this to grow to to a 5-foot length. But it is a good plant for a collector. It is easily available in India now. Most of the nurseries have got this plant. The size might vary, the size might differ, but this plant is easily available. It is available online also. I have checked it. It is available. I will put the link in the description box, and if you feel like purchasing this plant online, you can purchase it from that link. And you can hang this inside in a driftwood also. That also will give a good look to this plant. Take a small piece of driftwood and just hang the plant on that. And if you have a huge driftwood structure also, you have kept it indoors also, you can hang it on that. This will go very well with a driftwood. And a small piece of driftwood also, you can hang it on that, and you can attach that to your ceiling with a hook. That will also look very pretty. That is about the Spanish moss. Hope you like this video, and hope this video was informative. If I can have green fingers, you can have them too. Plant something today and prove me right. Bye bye. See you in the next video.